Welcome everyone to a quick fundraiser. I need your help. I know for 25 years, I'm developing here a T2 Linux distribution. It's the last Linux distribution to support all architectures. And the last year, as you might have seen, I live streamed 1,000 hours plus the other 1,000 hours. Basically, the last 2025, I worked nearly 2,000 hours keeping T2 Linux maintained and working on all the architectures. And while we made amazing progress, it becomes more and more complex and expensive to fix all this stuff. We have DEC Alpha working, we have Itanium working, there's many things, the last project to keep all of those things maintained and working. But it's getting out of hand. I need help. I realized this today, live streaming. I just finished live streaming 5 hours on Twitch. And case in point, I work 2,000 hours a year on open source Linux. Just in December, I sent over 30 patches upstream. Nearly all of the last stable release kernels had changes, fixes from me. Case in point here, that is the remote access here to a Apple PowerPC. So this is latest KDE on PowerPC, Big Endian. Kinda probably the last Linux distribution to have that mostly working, but while it's mostly working, and we have the same working on ARM, ARM64, we're probably the first having that working on RISC-V, but we need your support. It is so much work, as you can see here, and I should keep YouTube more in the loop and more up to date, but I work so much, I don't even have time to make a proper YouTube summary. So much is working, yet so much is broken. Just case in point here, and so this took all of December we spent migrating T2, so fully supporting systemd. This is also the first T2 to boot with systemd on PowerPC, because we were not the greatest systemd fans. We need systemd to have all the fancy KDE or other GNOME session management things working. We can't ship it like this. Basically, KDE is not fully working on PowerPC, or at least Big Endian. And so what's broken? I mean, in a way, it is amazing that a few person project like T2 manages to this is the latest freaking KDE, right? Yes, partially broken. So that is literally the last release from just some days ago, right? This is how amazing T2 is and what we can achieve. But imagine what we can achieve if we would have funding more than 250 euro a month. Here about the system. Yes, in a way, it's also crazy how bloated this stuff is, right? Like that clicking here takes that long. It's like, but hey, I mean, yeah, this is modern programming, right? I have some things to say about this bloated programming. It's ridiculous. Like obviously KDE 3 run snappy and circles around Steve Jobs' macOS, but now here we are. T2 Linux 26.2, not yet released, work in progress. Just the latest of everything on dual core PowerPC 970 MP, Ultivec supported 16 gigs of memory. So what is broken? Unfortunately, I personally fixed Mesa for Big Endian and Novo personally twice last year. Previous video, they broke Novo for all older cards needlessly in their ever-changing refactoring. Took me, of course, some bisecting, and I sent it upstream. It's trickling to Linux kernel stable series. And Mesa Big Endian for refactoring pixel format things. Totally amazing stuff, like needs to be refactored but it's broken again. This is software because after I fixed, and that is why I need help. I debug myself to death for all the well-paid developers at Red Hat and SUSE getting 100, 200,000 salary. But what do? They break and delete. And I sit here, it's my unsuccessful tiny hobby expression. I keep everything working without any money. And it's broken again. I fixed it twice last year, and starting 2026. Can we have some applause for all the big name open source developers that are praised on Phoronix for breaking it and then deleting it? It's pointless to show you. I mean, maybe I can show you. Basically, imagine if anyone tuning in would just donate $1 here or on Twitch or all the other support means. Basically, after making everything work, and hey, it works on ARM64, it works on RISC-V, it works on AMD64, but it nearly works on PowerPC. And you know, all the other distributions, they just tell you, as far as I know, Novo is not well supported on Big Endian systems. You can try to find a bug there, but if you have the possibility, so this is Debian, right? Like Debian's like, I'd recommend just replacing your graphic card with a Radeon based. It's like, just you cannot just plug in another, like you don't have boot graphic then, right? Like, yeah. Other distributions, it's like, yeah, it's known to not, it's like zero effort spent to fix this shit except some of my life. Welcome to my life, fixing shit for free. But, and this is software rendered. So, yeah, GL Mark II. T2 is so amazing. It works otherwise. And we have hardware accelerated working with slightly older versions. I spent probably 2.5 hours today. So this is software, right? Like basically, don't delay, support T2 Linux today. I'm sorry to make this clickbait video, but the future of T2 Linux depends on your support. Yours or your friends, your parents. I don't care about your pronouns. Just ask people to donate to T2 Linux. Yeah, imagine how much more I could fix if I could actually work full time on that. And by the way, in reality, it's running slightly better. This is a slightly glitchy KVM capture over broader things. Other bugs. KDE doesn't come fully up. So this is software because hardware. Let's see here. I load. Can I also everything like Pipewire? Like we are obviously the only Linux distribution that has Firefox working, right? Like mostly working. This is coming over NFS root, so in reality it's slightly more snappy. It's just a little bit slower for NFS root for improving debugging performance, right? Just the last Linux distribution that has Firefox working on Big Endian system things. Yes, some colors are off. Did I mention I need help? So don't delay. Share, like, and subscribe today. Don't delay. Support T2 Linux today. Like, yeah, other Linux distributions don't have that running on Big Endians. It's too fancy. Yes, some false colors, like here. So the Novo driver currently for me draws black very fast. So synced to VSync, running Synchronous to vertical refresh, 1000 FPS drawing black very fast. Yes, ideally I would want to write my microkernel in a new graphics subsystem that doesn't suck. But here we are, 2026, Novo draws black very fast, synchronized to VSync with obviously a 7000 FPS. My tip jar is empty. And my nerves coming to an end. I fixed it twice last year. Although Debian says, nah, it's broken. Yeah, It is working in our last stable release, but broken again. And I need food and something to eat and to drink. And last but not least, KDE doesn't come fully up, and the console, I even debugged this 30 minutes, like somehow the console, like console drawing difficult. I don't know what they do here. They do here something. They fill the console. These dots are not normal. I debugged it 30 minutes. Yeah, the KDE console code not outstanding, but it was also not immediately. I tried to patch this underlining, dotting stuff away. Couldn't even, in 30 minutes, I couldn't even patch that away, not to draw at all. Yeah, one can live with that. It's just not pretty. But that is the stuff. That is the stuff we would need to fix if we want. So like the console can draw correctly, right? So I don't know what cursed engine is. Raw memory, uninitialized memory trickery. Yeah, it needs guru meditation for some hours. And given it is like that, I'm probably your last bet and need help. You help. You click. To debug and fix all this stuff. If you want, last but not least, KDE doesn't fully come up. That is only some stuff of KDE works here. The Plasma session doesn't come fully up. We can simulate this mostly. That is the same system. If we use another window manager, VC, KDE briefly starting. Also, T2 is so amazing that is fully cross-compiled in just 2 hours on what happened now? Not sure what did now. So if we manually start KDE, we briefly, I mean, also obviously you can use T2 like this, right? I mean, obviously nothing wrong like using, except other people want to see it deleted, but like look at this beauty, right? Nothing wrong using your dual core 2.5 gigahertz IBM power stuff. I'm live streaming on Twitch, yes, daily. I live streamed, I kid you not, I live streamed, I think I live streamed 1,000 hours last year, I believe. Nearly daily. So Plasma Shell, if you watch closely, you see this stuff starting for the blink of a second. Like here, it renders background and starts to render the panel. And yes, byte order not supported YOLO. So as you see, it wants to work, but it needs your help in helping me, because I can no longer invest. I basically invest 100,000 euro a year in the develop of keeping T2 Linux developed and supported, which is basically an average full-time salary of me, as I work full-time on that. And thank you so much for your support. I highly appreciate this. Like, we get everything. Every other Linux distribution. PowerPC, difficult. Big Endian, not supported. Just get a new GPU, and thank you so much for your support. That's what we're here for. Everything could work. Everything could work, but people constantly break it faster than I can fix it all. I mean, again, nothing wrong running window manager and stuff, but Mesa is currently broken and renders black very fast. We have here some messages in dmask of gr inter things resource things data error. But I think the Debian diagnostics is so we tested this in our team T2, tested this today. Despite Debian speculating, looking at the output, so Debian has seen something similar. So I've never seen that. I've seen that today the first time, but Debian has seen it already in 2024. But nobody fucking fixed a bloody thing, right, in 2 years. I get something similar here today, but Debian developers speculate as far as they know Novo's things, and looking at the output, it actually indicates problems with your Novo kernel module. And I think maybe not. I don't know what that is. Have I tried something? I don't know what that is. Ah, this Phil C. This is C runtime. No, I've not tried it, and I have everything else to keep working. I don't have time for that. So, given that Mesa is slightly older version, like our last stable T2 release, works with exactly that kernel, I think the bug is in Mesa or some surrounding infrastructure. Potentially DRI2 versus DRI3 related. So I think but that's the thing, like other developers like, yeah, some probably kernel bug, some things like, no, not necessarily. Stop, not so fast, right? That kernel has working acceleration OpenGL things with slightly older Mesa. So maybe it is more Mesa doing wrong things there, right? Or Xorg server integration and things. But did I mention into like the problem is also the stuff is so complex with someone kernel, libdrm, Mesa, Xorg server, or Wayland. Like there are so many things that could go wrong, right? It could be anywhere. So I, by the way, even wasted my time. I plugged in another GPU because I have two. Usually I don't use this one. Usually I have an NVIDIA 6600 in there because it's passively cooled. I even took this out. I never really use it. That's a special Apple one that has boot graphic, just to see if a GeForce G70 7800 potentially behaves differently. Yeah, so much. Even this took me 30. In reality, it took me more than 30 minutes. Because I wanted to swap the GPU already in December, and I didn't find the special Snowflake power cable. It's a mini PCIe power cable thing. I have only one. Didn't find it in December. It's like I found it today. So in reality, like then screwing it, opens the case, screwing it, getting the card, it's like, nah, it's 30 minutes gone, right? Especially the card didn't even go in there because it's a very long card, right? It's like even swapping hardware, 30 minutes lost for, yeah, it also doesn't work. Also, that's here. If you want to follow that stuff, that's this precious card. Yeah, it didn't fit in. It's like, nearly broke my G5 doing so. Then even my phone fall into the G5, like 10x Engineer destroys its G5. Like, thankfully it still works, but my phone, like lightening that's like, nah, don't ask. My phone fell onto the memory modules and thankfully it still works. Like, but that's also the risk, right? You're simply swapping hardware. It's like, yeah, your phone, your pocket light, your torch fell into your memory slot. It's like shit like that. Anyway, let's make a more positive summary. Basically, don't ask me. Then on top of like we made Raspberry Pi boards, like we spent a week on ARM things, right, in December. We spent the whole December on making systemd fully work in T2 and all this user session and all the other, like we now have, if you're new to T2, 25-year running project, the last project to support everything, and also now with full back to desktop. Like, so our next, theoretically, our mission is like we have a fully working desktop better than Windows and Mac OS, where all like where Bluetooth and like I use this full time. I mean, obviously I use my T2 full time for everything, on everything. But it's so amazing. It basically works better. The technology preview with systemd and all the KDE stuff otherwise on current ThinkPads. It literally works better than a Mac and an iPad combined because like you have touch, fully working Bluetooth and stuff like one-click pairing things and Wi-Fi. It's amazing, and like we only need to some last installer things and binary updates, but certainly Mesa breaking every quarter, it's not helping. Anyway, yeah, plus of course all the people, but this embedded board, that embedded board, basically don't ask me what stuff I can fix more. Just send us some support, right? because theoretically also like integrating all the embedded board patches, all the SBC small board computer things. I even ask here, which do you want the next? And oh, you can also support us on GitHub or join us on YouTube and Twitch. Somewhere here is SOC, popular SOC things, SBC things. Which one do you want next? Yeah, it is crazy that despite all the efforts, it is amazing. It could be so amazing, and yet even debugging how KDE doesn't start. It's like it starts on my other systems, but here somehow not. And this are like hundreds of packages, 100 megabytes of sources. It's like without clear diagnostics, right? Like without even any what's going wrong here? I don't know. Of course there are some warnings, but like, yeah, good luck debugging through all of this. I have a major problem with things Linux works. No, but my God, we'll never buy another NVIDIA card. Is in the system troubleshooting? No, yeah. You know, this AI is not good at assisting with this because there is no prior knowledge. AI is only, that's also not AI, it's large language model, aka compressed database, fuzzy query things of statistically word prediction stuff. And like, if AI will tell you, Debian tells you it's not supported and broken. It's like, thank you, I don't need to waste electrons in a nuclear power plant in a data center for this hallucination. What distro? I can tell you what distro. By the way, I am and use the one and only. Yeah, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much. We need more of that. Maybe think, if you imagine how what I can do. I could even imagine we would have an open source developer fund of not like deleting and breaking shit, but like imagine we would have 2026 T2 development fund. Like, let's say some companies could get their act together and show their goodwill and donate some. Imagine 1,000 users would donate $1. That would already be $1,000 freaking dollar. Imagine some companies could trickle in some €100 or €1,000 here or there, like some Volkswagen, or maybe don't delay, ask your employer if they would want to support or use T2 embedded Linux in their self-driving cars or space rockets, right? Imagine what we could do instead of Linux Foundation wasting all their money on bullshit projects. Anyway, I have some more positive news, except like this is just so frustrating, right? Like to understand, like I sit here all day and night and the result is this. Everything could work except the last 3 small things, which the last 3 things take 3 weeks of bisecting, debugging, Mesa things of who knows what's broken this time. Yeah, let's make a video, a more positive spin video, because otherwise T2 is amazing. We made so much progress. So let's make a second video because today is video live streaming day. So let's go over to the More Live channel. And thank you so much for all your support. And oh, see you in FOSDEM, right? T2, first time ever at FOSDEM in next weekend. So in 10 or so days, 8 or so days or whatever. FOSDEM. And even that cost me money, right? Like going there by train, by car, hotel and things. Like, it's like, why don't you go to FOSDEM? It's like, yeah, it cost me €500, right? Like, plus the 4 days I can't work, right? Going there on Friday, being there the weekend, going back on Monday. It's 4 days I don't earn money. So it costs me €500 plus 4 days no income. Anyway, who wants to meet in person and see some amazing cool stuff working? See you in Brussels on the 31st or 1st of February. And otherwise, comment below what you want to see working. What suggestions do you have? And see you next time. And live this other channel. And don't forget to don't delay. Support T2 Linux today. Because nobody else will fix your Mesa this time. I fixed the Razer last 2 times. But I'm getting a little bit tired of fixing Mesa. Again and again.